Welcome to Hello Chaos, the weekly podcast exploring the messy and chaotic minds and lives of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Each week, I have the privilege to speak with founders across the spectrum, founders from different industries at various stages, from startups to mature businesses of all shapes and sizes. Our listeners get to hear the real, the raw, the unvarnished viewpoints and stories, getting incredible insights on what it takes to start and scale a business, to become a better founder, a better CEO, or just a better business leader in the community. Today on our show, we have Jeffrey Lyon. He is the CEO and founder of TheCyberWild. Welcome, Jeffrey. Welcome to Hello Chaos.
Thank you, Jennifer. Glad to be here, and I appreciate the invitation to be on your podcast. This
Absolutely.
is
And you're
really exciting.
I know. And you're calling out of what, Rock Hill, South Carolina?
In Rock Hill, South Carolina. Get a thrill, come to Rock Hill. I think I can still use that line.
Is that a real tourism line? Or is that
Well, I can
from
remember
back in the day?
some friends of mine from way back in my childhood used to have an audio store here. That was they had a big advertisement, and that's what they said. But,
That's awesome. Well, Jerry, just start us out. Tell us what inspired you to start the Cyberwild. How'd you get into this?
How did I get into cybersecurity in general, or how did I get to?
How did you get into, why in the world did you start your own company?
Why did I start my own company? It's fun.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody here can relate. That's right. Yeah.
It's exciting, but let's go for the why to start with.
Yeah,
The why is when I worked for corporate America.
How long did you do that? How long?
Well, I mean, my career spans 30 years or more.
Yeah.
30 plus. I've lost count now.
We stop at 30, right?
Can we? Good. Good. Anyway, when I worked for corporate America, my role was to help organizations, primarily healthcare organizations at one point, protect themselves or improve their cybersecurity skill sets.
Okay.
Or not skill sets, but their posture, especially with stuff like ransomware coming up a few years ago as it was growing.
Yeah, we had to take care of a client that we had to do a whole crisis communications plan because they had a ransomware attack and had to put a lot of to deal with that, but then how do we now deal with a crisis moving forward of all things? So, yeah.
So one role I had, it's really what influenced me to do this. I was building up this cyber program for these smaller regional hospitals that really didn't have their own cyber teams. And just trying to help them become safer with the tools they have. But in the process, I was on my way home from a real good bluegrass festival in Asheville, North Carolina.
Is that the Leaf Festival?
No, it was a bluegrass first class.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, very good one.
Yeah.
Plug for Milton there. Yeah. Anyway, so I got the call on Sunday afternoon as we were driving home, and one of my hospitals had been hacked.
Oh.
They did not know what to do. I mean, they got this thing said they had ransomware. Their systems were locking up, getting encrypted, and they were having to take stuff offline to prevent it from getting worse. And really, it impacted patient care.
Yeah.
It impacted operations. They had to go back to pencil and paper and all. Well, the next day, I was on a flight to that site and to help kind of not really lead everything, but to commandeer a room and make sure that everybody is figuring out how we're going to bring things back online, how we're going to contain the ransomware,
right?
That part of it, and it was a long process,
a
long painful process, and just realizing how some of these hospitals did not have the preparation for something like this in general. No incident response plan, no no team that knew anything about it. No one was accountable for endpoint protection,
Mm,
which is really the entry point, what we found out months later.
right.
Well, okay, well, I want to do this for smaller organizations
Mm,
that don't have, the big, the big companies
the big
operating
teams,
for
all
them.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was working, helping. I mean, later on, I was working for one of the big four, helping big Fortune 100 companies
Mm,
with their cyber plans. But then I realized, well, there's really a gap here.
yeah.
A lot of small medical facilities, independent,
Mm,
and small businesses in general don't have people on staff to help them learn and protect their infrastructure from cyber criminals.
right.
So I like to start from the inside out, starting with the employees and
Mm,
uh, the human risk element, and let's mitigate that first, and make sure everybody's on board, understanding what not to click on. And I mean, I know everybody's tired of hearing that, and
right. But it's
so
still that people don't know like how to, if is that really spam? And we get that in our office of somebody will go, "Did you just send me an email of,
yeah,
do you need something?" And I was like, "I didn't send you an email." We're like, "Don't click on that. That wasn't for me." And so, yeah, I mean, I think
uh,
having that training and that awareness and that visibility, and smaller businesses don't have, you're right, they don't have the infrastructure or the team in place to be able to put those preventions and that education.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's still. I mean, even with all the training we have and all the news, everything's in the news every time a big company gets hacked, right?
Right.
Um, every time it's in the news, and it's always something that goes back to the human element. Well, we want to take that human element, make it the weak. Instead of thinking of them as the weakest link in the chain, we want them to be the first line of defense.
Ah, like almost like you're the director of first impressions. You're your receptionist of there's that person holds a lot of power, and should be treated as such. And you're empowering people on all levels of the front line, the defense.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it from my logo shirt, but my logo, and I don't know if that even show, but I'll tell you about it later. But I got
Yeah.
a two-headed lion. One's looking protecting you from the outside, one's protecting you from the inside.
Mm.
And, it's kind of
The dual. So
yeah.
what? So you saw the gap of they're the vulnerable of small businesses and especially in the healthcare. What's been the most rewarding part of starting the Cyberwild?
What's been the most rewarding part? There have been so many, and I what's really rewarding to me is
Mm,
meeting people, and just all of the amazing people I've met during this journey of this past year, of different events I've attended, different
mm,
companies I've visited, or clients and potential clients I've spoken with. It's just been amazing, and seeing that people are open to help, to asking for help, and just the understanding that I'm able to help and teach people
mm.
things. I mean, my highest value is learning and teaching.
Yeah, yeah. That's I call it. We sell through service and education, right? Um, so in this, I mean, you went from corporate into starting your own company. Um, how was that transition? Like, were there myths that you went in or misperceptions that you were like, I thought it was going to be like this, and then you're
Oh
like,
yeah,
whoa, what the what the hell am I thinking?
yeah, yeah.
Did you have any of those moments of like, what this is crazy?
Oh, every day,
Right.
except those when I'm sleeping. That, the biggest thing is I did not realize. I guess number one, uh, I didn't realize how crowded the playing field is, even in
Oh,
cybersecurity. I mean, there are a lot of people doing it, And even though I have 30 years in the field,
Yeah.
nobody, people still see me as the new kid on the block because my company's new.
Ah,
But, um, they don't realize that well, I don't know if I was supposed to say companies I previously worked for or not, but it's all on
you
LinkedIn
can.
anyway. But,
Yeah.
they don't see me as a guy that used to be a service delivery manager for Deloitte, or I worked for
Right.
Microsoft and Allscripts, a lot of great companies. And,
Right.
um,
That
a
experience matters.
lot of
Uh,
experience.
yeah.
Plus I have 16 years working in the higher ed
Mm.
in South Carolina. So
Nice.
yeah,
So that's been the hardest part is like, and that is, it's kind of you think, okay, I found this gap because I faced that of, you know, I hear people need this, and then you get in there and you're like, okay, I built it. Let's go. Like, and it's, the noise
yeah.
of, and
And
how do you break through? Yeah. Hey, founders, quick pause in the chaos for something that might just change the way you think about marketing. If you've ever hired an agency and felt like you got a bunch of fluff, no results, and a lot of, hey, look at this cool logo, you're not alone. Bright marketing is not like that. They are not there to sell you tactics you do not need or drown you in buzzwords. They work with you to solve the real friction points, keeping your business, your brand from growing. Bright Marketing is a different kind of agency, one built for founders, CEOs, and teams who are done wasting money on marketing and advertising that doesn't move the needle. Their secret weapon? Curiosity. They ask better questions, they connect the dots, they tailor strategies that make branding, marketing, and advertising actually work as a growth engine, not an expense. So if your brand is stuck or your marketing feels like an expensive guessing game, talk to them. They're offering a mini brand therapy workshop. It's a 60-day tune-up. Only 5 slots are available. Send an email to hello@gobrightnow.com and grab one of these spots. Or to learn how their service packages can help you get clarity, confidence, and real results. Send that email today and write curious in the subject line. Now back to the chaos.
so I thought it would be much easier to get clients,
Mm,
especially locally. But what I hear is, well, this everybody's already got somebody that's doing it.
right.
But I think that's a misconception because a lot of times they have an IT team.
I'm like, so I was about to say, I'm like, they probably have IT. They probably don't have cybersecurity.
Exactly. They have
Yeah.
an IT team that they might put a firewall in, and they might slap the antivirus on the computer and think, hey, we're covered. But
Right.
they don't realize that that's not the that's not the biggest problem now. The perimeter is broken.
Yeah.
Not broken, it's dissolved. Everything's online, everybody's working remotely, everything's in the cloud.
Yeah.
That security's got to be looked at from every angle.
Yeah. So,
And
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and the posture there that everybody's got to know the the different things to look for. Yeah, you can put it in the cloud. It can be so safe in the cloud. It can be
Yeah.
safer than on your home computer, but it can also be very vulnerable if the settings aren't configured right. Just like in
Oh,
anything.
oh, I
You know,
know. We felt that we hired the wrong IT company, and one of the charges that we said, hey, can you do cybersecurity and help that? This was a few years ago. Um, they were not qualified. We had done our due diligence of we uh, got references and all that, but we didn't ask all the same, like that was a big lessons learned for me. um was, we said, oh, are they great for IT? Well, they were great for IT, but when we were saying, we need the settings, we need, consistency, we've got a hybrid work, um, business model, and how do we protect these computers but also these spaces, and we didn't ask references around that. We just and within, I mean, it was the worst, I would say the worst year
mm,
of, because we within 30 days we were our systems were hacked, and it took us a little, what was it, well, I'm like looking at my producer Chandler. He had come on after all the mess, after we had like started to do cleanup. But we had to spend a way to go find another firm to like do an audit to go, okay, what is happening here? Like, why? I mean, I wasn't getting emails, or emails weren't being sent out. We had so much false emails going out under my name and three other teammates, three other staff members' names.
Yeah. That's
Our
called an open
settings,
relay.
it was all awful. And the IT people was like, "There's not a problem," and I was like, "I have people that are literally texting me screenshots of their sent box and saying, I've been trying to send you these emails and it's not in." And we're like, that I'm the front line for our business, like business development. If that's our people that know me and our clients that know me, who isn't, who doesn't know that I'm not, I'm just not responding to them. I mean, they just don't know. But they denied. So we had to hire, spent like, I don't know, close to $10,000 for another outside company to do an audit. And they found 300 dot points, like of errors of tasks, 300.
Hmm. That's
And then, but I mean, it was like, and then we spent, 6 months hiring some, basically I call it an attack team that came in and cleaned up all that. And then, we've had to, it's a struggle for small, and I know I'm not alone, because I've talked to other founders and other business owners when we were going through all this, and they're like, I have that same issue. I have, you just hear the repetitiveness of those same problems. And it's like, we're not IT people. And you're right, but there's a lot of noise and junk in the category.
It sure is. I have a webcast that I had put out maybe 6 months ago. I wish I could. I don't have time to go dig for it now, but
Yeah.
it's a slide that just it's a very intimidating slide, and I'm using it as a joke. But um,
But it's probably real.
oh, it's real. It's real. It's a list of acronyms.
Oh, yeah.
IT is bad, heavy on the acronym side.
Yeah.
And cybersecurity adds to it. I mean, we're probably worse than medical with acronyms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Media and marketing is pretty bad too.
and this
But
page
you guys are worse.
this page just goes. It's a PowerPoint slide. It just goes off the page with all these different acronyms and just
So
keeps going.
when you go into a company, like what are the three things from a small business owner, a founder starting like, what is the three kind of advice or things that you look for? You're like warning signs of, don't do this, or this is the things you need to be doing. Do you like have direction for the small, our listeners of small businesses and founders?
Sure. I mean, the basic stuff like who do you serve?
Right.
You gotta nail that down. And what do you do for them? What's the outcome?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and thirdly, especially in technologies, you don't talk about the technology you use and the tools you use. You talk about the problems you solve,
Yeah.
and you speak it in the client's language. And for Lord's sake, don't use that list of acronyms I just talked about.
Right. No, that would be intimidating. That would be completely.
Yeah.
So, what's been your, the biggest, like, oh shit, like what have I done? Or, that you had to overcome. Do you have any of those moments?
Spent way
Or
too
had
much
any?
money on training. No, I don't know. uh,
That's just where the
uh,
biggest pain points are of like, where's that money gone?
yeah. There is. I can't think of any oh shit moment. I'm just trying to think if there was actually anything that. I mean, of course, there are things I could have done better.
Yeah.
I,
Like
I,
if you had to hit rewind on anything, what would you do differently?
I would probably stay more laser focused on maybe one niche and one.
Like one industry, like medical
Yes,
or whatever?
sort of, and that's what I did for the first year. I mean, focused on healthcare,
Yeah.
but I started thinking at the same time, well, here are these other business sectors in the same situation. They need the
Hmm.
exact same thing that I'm offering, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to say I
Don't
wouldn't
turn
help.
away. That's right. No.
Right, right. But I can't be Walmart either. I'm not gonna boil the ocean, but give me a big enough pot and I'll try, you know.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, I guess. But that and just stay. My big thing is the shiny object syndrome, or I call it the squirrel syndrome. You know,
Yeah.
this looks good. Let me try this for a while,
Right.
and I get caught up in doing other things like, this affiliate marketing stuff looks very
I
interesting. Let's
know.
let's play with that for a week, and oh, well, here's something I can sell online. And a lot of distractions. You got to stay
Yeah.
focused.
Gotta stay
Got to
real
stay focused.
focused.
Yeah,
Stay true to your vision, your impact, and
exactly.
I mean, it's good to test like how to, you know, educate, inform, inspire, and different tactics, but stay true to like your service offerings, the value proposition, and bringing clarity to that message. Because then the right people will come to you, right? Um, so okay, so what do you do? What is something that's not on LinkedIn, it's not on your resume that our listeners would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, you really want to know?
Yeah,
Well, uh, I'll tell you two things. Number one, and most people probably know it or probably could guess it because of what's standing up behind me there. I'm
I
a
was about to say, I'm
musician.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a musician, so I got
Oh, you.
got a few instruments then many more upstairs. But so I'm a musician. I love to play. I love to write music. But
Mm.
that's probably no surprise. What might really surprise you is that I'm a certified hypnotherapist.
What?
Yeah,
Are you really?
I really am.
Is this something that is relatively new? Or have you been like for decades, or like how
No,
did you get into this?
it's new.
Ver- A certified hypnotherapist. Is it
Yes.
because you found relief or a solution, and you were like, "Whoa, I got to do it"? Like, how did you get into this?
Well, you remember that squirrel syndrome we talked
This.
about? Which is kind of how it works. I mean, like I said, I'm a big networker,
Yeah.
and all this whole journey started when I decided to take it full time, be an entrepreneur. It
Yeah.
started with me taking hiring as public speaking coach, which led me to other networking events, which led me to more and more.
Right.
And somehow I got invited to one of these school groups, SKOOL, by
Yeah.
someone that was uh, part of the Grant Cardone 10X organization, which I'm part of too.
Mm.
Um, they invited me to this, and I really didn't know what it was, so I got involved, listening to it, and not everybody in there was some type of a, a life coach or health coach, and well, this is really fascinating,
Right.
talking about NLP and all this. I want to learn some of this stuff. I mean, if I use it for me or
Right.
whatever. And I was very fascinated with it. So I did get my certification in hypnotherapy, and I'm actually working on NLP.
Wow.
Yeah,
Um, did
and
you
I asked the coach, the trainer, and they were showing one of these silly videos where one of these stage hypnotists come
right.
up and do all this silly junk. People being all of a sudden they're classical musicians playing all this stuff like those.
So you
So I said, so I can hypnotize myself to go
I'm
sit down at the piano and play Rachmaninoff. And she said, no. I said, damn.
I know. That's what I need.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's nothing like that, okay? And I know we're kind of digressed here because we're supposed to be talking about cybersecurity, right? But another thing,
We're talking about you and your founder journey. So
yeah.
it's all related.
And,
Yeah.
and, and here's another thing: cybersecurity can be boring to people. Another, oh no, not another guy talk about doomsday and I got to do this and we're not safe and all that. But hey, we, I want to make, I want to make cybersecurity fun again.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you do like a bonus of, hey, for every client that comes on, I'll hypnotize your
no,
leadership.
we don't do that kind of. No, the two are unrelated. Okay, um, but what I do, I mean, when I talk, I like to throw a lot of humor into it.
Yeah.
Um, I had started, and I'm due one today, which I don't know if I probably won't have time today to do it, but I like to go in and create these funny songs about cybersecurity,
Oh,
and I posted them on most of the social media platforms, like I think I did it on YouTube, but I
okay.
definitely LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram, but it's usually AI generated stuff. I'm heavily into AI too, but I mean, I'm a real musician, but for this, I just use these AI tools to create
Right.
something funny and just kind of poking fun at ourselves and the mistakes we make along the way with cyber.
Well, that's gonna get you to stand out among the noise, you know?
It might, but I also risk people not taking me seriously.
Oh, I don't think that. I think with you coming with 30 years of experience,
30 years experience and all the
and with the
certifications and stuff that I have.
yeah, with the um, companies you've worked for and all that, I think you're bringing levity into a really complex field. And like you said, let's have a little fun with it.
Just have fun with it.
Let's have fun. So if you could change two things, like if I gave you a magic wand and you could change two things about your business today, what two things would you change?
Well, be making a lot more money.
Yeah.
The No, let's make that better. I would have helped 50 times more people this
There
year.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. More clients
Well, not just clients, but helped
of
people
people.
at, to protect them from the crap that's going
Yeah.
on in the world. I mean, if we could alleviate cybercrime, I would feel it mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been trying to think of a good like what you call it, value
The
unique
value
value
proposition.
proposition, and
Yeah.
I've got two of them I've thought of, and I don't take that kind of stuff too seriously because it can change every day. But I could say I'm the original hacker smacker.
The
Yeah, you
original.
like that? I thought,
I like that.
or,
That's good.
or we take you from zero to safe.
I like that one too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Zero to safe. That's good. So when you talked about like this, the cyber crime, how bad is it?
Well, I don't know how to put a number on it,
Yeah.
but let's put it this way: a year ago, well, February of last year, we had an incident that I know everyone's heard of it now. It was in the healthcare, a change. It's called Change Healthcare, which is a company that most people would not know the name on a daily basis,
Mm.
but they are connected to just about every healthcare organization in the country on the back, like in the back office style. And as a result, they were hacked.
Mm.
It affected one in every two U.S. citizens in some
Oh,
manner. Yeah,
that did
that's
not
great.
make the news enough.
It was in the news. It quite a bit, but since Change Healthcare, I mean they're part of United Healthcare, okay,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
but they do things on the back end that the patients don't necessarily see. Like
Gotcha. They're like the backbone of the of United.
Yeah, not just united, but companies, medical offices will go to them for, uh, I guess, like a clearinghouse. I don't quite
Mm,
understand how it all works that way, but
yeah.
handle prescriptions, handle
Yeah.
appointments, handle payroll, even, I believe.
Wow.
But a lot of operational type things that they would do, and it caused a lot of chaos and uh, companies not being able to make payroll because of it, and
Yeah.
having the partners having to put their houses on lien to be able to make payroll, and it's stuff
But
like that. I mean, that's one case. I mean, and
yeah,
we've had just
that's
about every
crazy.
industry has something in the auto industry a few
Yeah.
months later. Um, and then,
Banking a couple times.
yeah, now I'll tell you this one, and then I'll explain why I call it a cyber attack.
Yeah.
And this is me speaking, not the industry. But in July, I think it was July 19th,
Mm.
um, all the airlines mysteriously shut down, had a problem. We couldn't do flights,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remember that
Yeah.
everybody was stranded in airports,
Yep.
and that was because of a very small change that one third party did that is used by Microsoft on all their systems,
Oh, that's right.
and
Was
it caused the systems to crash, and not just crash, but come up with what we call the blue screen of death, where
yes.
they don't reboot. I
Right.
mean, I had to actually rebuild one of mine because of it. Uh, Now, it wasn't a cyber attack
Right.
because but it was a cyber incident, because when we look at cybersecurity, we look at three. There are three pillars of it.
Mm.
You've got the availability. That's number one.
Right.
You've got integrity, and you got confidentiality.
Mm.
Well, even though it wasn't malicious, it still affected availability.
Right.
So CIA,
Right.
and
That's a good.
regardless of what caused it, how it happened, it was still an outage which caused an incident.
And all that. And it was just
Yeah,
somebody made a change and didn't either vet it properly or didn't code it right or whatever, and it just affected all three of those.
didn't didn't do the testing before putting it into production
Yeah.
and blasting it out to the world. It's like an antivirus that, how you get the antivirus updates when
Yeah.
like new viruses come out, and the new remedy comes out. I use those terms.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's fascinating. If we met a year from now, like I'm gonna come back up to Rock Hill, and what would we be celebrating? What's a win we'd be
Oh,
celebrating?
we'd be celebrating so many wins. I think we would. I said with Donald Trump, we'd be tired of winning. No, never be tired of winning. Never be tired of helping people. That's it. We
Just
would
a
be celebrating success. And cyber's kind of like the fireman. You can't celebrate the fires that didn't happen, right? I mean, how do you
right.
count those? But
Yeah,
it's kind of like the insurance. I want to help people stay as safe as they can, but
that's
it's
right.
still a lot depends on them.
Well, then it's almost the opposite. Like when you go into plants and manufacturing, it's the 0 days since the last incident. You're
Mhm.
under the same thing. Like let's celebrate no incidents with all your clients.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
And I actually have a tool, a partnership with a company that has a very unique tool, a very unique platform that none of their clients have had a breach
Mm.
since they put this tool in, like no ransomware or
Yeah.
anything. And
See,
I'm just ready to get that out
that is
there and
a
start getting people to use it.
that's right. That's a celebration.
It is, yeah,
No incidences.
yeah. Don't
uh,
break my count.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so if you had to sum up your entrepreneurial journey in one word, what word describes your journey?
Adventure.
Adventure?
I got
Yeah.
uh, Yeah, I mean, adventure's good because it never ends. It's always every day's different.
That's that
And
is for sure, isn't
yeah,
it? which which bodes well for somebody that is that's a squirrel mindset, right? It keeps the happy squirrel or the
yeah,
squirrel happy, yeah. And then if you had to look at the next chapter, what word describes that chapter?
growth.
Growth. We'll see it
Hmm.
and celebrate that next year. What's the best piece of advice that you've been given from other? Because I know you're doing a lot of networking and going to all these events and stuff. And what's the best advice that you've heard or received and really took to heart?
Don't quit.
Don't quit. Just yeah, we hear that a lot. Just do
Yeah,
it. Just keep going. Keep moving forward.
keep moving
Um,
forward. It's, I mean, even at the year's time is when a lot of people think, "Oh, I can't do this anymore.
I
You
know.
haven't been successful." Keep at it.
Just
You're that
persevere.
close. The next
That's
day
right.
is going to bring you that much closer.
That's right. Stay focused.
Mhm.
And all that. Yeah. I
Slap
one
that
of the
squirrel.
huh?
Slap that squirrel,
Slap
right?
that squirrel. That's right. I I used to say, you learn from failure. I've tried to take failure and errors out of our like the language and our vernacular, and especially mine. Um, that there's a lesson in everything. There's a lesson in a win, and there's a lesson in the stumbles, and failures can just is just another lesson. That's all it is, and
Yeah.
you got to move forward. So yeah,
And
just
you got
keep
to show
going, just keep
gratitude for
doing it. And the worst thing you can do is not learn from, like, if you're having a hard time or you're trying to figure out how to persevere, sometimes it's just like going taking a break and just reset, recalibrate, rethink, because it might be a pivot or it might be a, you know what, I'm going to try this really diligently for the next like 24 hours or the next week. And if that works, and then but you got to just keep moving forward. That and most of us break through, and but it's not for, we always say, entrepreneurship sometimes isn't for everybody if you don't have that perseverance and that drive, because it there's some hard days, and
there will be hard days. And
there, yeah,
in my first few months, I was saying, "This is so much fun." I feel like I'm on a roller coaster that only
right,
goes up.
yeah.
And and is it ever going to come down? Well,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what
but
I
but,
describe my journey as,
but
like
yeah,
the roller coaster of it is. It is like the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns,
but I would challenge you
speed.
and everybody, start a journal, get it out every morning, and write down 3 things of gratitude that you're grateful for, even the
Yeah.
things that aren't good. Be grateful for the experiences that you've had,
Oh, that's a good
and,
advice.
and
Yeah. Yeah. I do a journal. I started this a couple years ago, and you're right. It had totally transformed my mindset of at the before I go to bed, I write down 3 things. Um, Not all 3 are my gratitude, but it's more of one is what was I most grateful for the day,
yeah, that's gratitude.
and then the second is what caused me, or what am I holding that's most anxious, um, or stressed, like that the angst, and what am I did I do something wrong, what error did I have, or and just let it, when I write it down, it releases me. And the third one is like, what am I most looking forward to for tomorrow?
Perfect.
And it's interesting, when I started reflecting back on
Mhm.
after like 6 months, you start doing that, building that habit. It was so much fun to like read through those things, because the things that were causing me angst 6 months later, I'm like, that, or a year later, it was like, that's nothing. Like, and it helped with total mindset and confidence, and, um, but you're right, just being grateful and giving yourself grace and space, and sometimes you need to give yourself that same permission that you would give others,
And celebrate your wins, even no
and
matter how
celebrate the
small.
wins. That's right.
Mhm.
No matter how small. That's
no matter how
Even
small.
if it like, I always tell that to some founders. They're like, "Ah, I've had no wins." I was like, I bet you did. I'm sure there's some. Like, you got to have a win. Um, and that's why. So yeah, the journal and gratitude, uh, thinking and speaking. It just that's great advice. Um, I love that. Well, okay. So I think, well, one more. Um, what have you learned most about yourself through this journey?
Um, that I have a whole lot of potential that has been not utilized in many years.
Uh,
I
so it's like
guess
awakening.
yes, an awakening. And I know we don't have time, but I could go into a lot of detail of my transition from where I was at the point when I left Deloitte to where I am now,
Yeah.
and the the lifestyle and everything that I have now. I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not totally different, but just the habits that I changed and
Mm,
uh, things I choose to do and not to do, or listen to and not listen to, is it really reflects on who I became,
yeah.
who I
What?
am now.
Um, reflect on that. I want to hear more about that. When you talked about like the habits or who you listen to and because that's so important of like the things that I call it like my piece of advice I give people, and I tell myself this all the time of when you get into entrepreneurship and you start a business and you start to scale it and grow it, and now you have to deal with people and client, it gets sometimes overwhelming, but you're learning, you're unlearning, you're relearning, and then rinse and repeat over and over and over again. So I'm curious of like what things that you have to go, th- I got to break those habits or I got to not listen to that stuff.
Hold on a second.
No worries.
Told him I was on the call. Uh, so, well, the habits I had to break,
Yeah.
just a lot of things. Spend much less time or just totally turn it off. The talk radio, the news, other than what I absolutely have to hear.
Right.
Just give me the news, no opinions. I just want to know what's happening in the
Right.
world. Not,
Just give me the facts.
yeah, yeah, facts, please. Give me the facts, man. Um, yeah, um, just to focus on things that if it's something that's not making you a better person, if it's something that's causing you stress and you don't have to do it, you don't have to be around it, get away from it.
That's right. It's interesting. We talk a lot of this with other founders that have come on the show, and that is something like you can feel it. Like when you learn your circles change. Sometimes friends and family, they can't relate to the business or whatever. So you realize, okay, I can't really bring them that because they can't support it. They don't bring that positive energy. So I've got to go find these other circles.
Mhm.
And even when you find some of these other circles, as you grow and you learn, unlearn, relearn, um, and one of the founders, and we actually wrote about it, it's on social right now. Her podcast launch this week was, she was like, your body, like it in you can feel the energy. If it's not serving you,
Mhm.
your body will react to it. So like listen for that because and your gut is like, this doesn't feel right, or this energy or these influences or the things that I'm doing is not good. It doesn't serve me anymore. It's not going to help me, lift forward. And she was like, when you try to reject that, um, she was like, you will feel it. She was like, it will become more physical than emotional over time.
Mhm.
And she's like, she's a CEO and she's kind of grown now, and now she's founded a organization, and she's like, I thought I knew all these things, but man, she was like, that was like her big aha of, you hear it about, people tell you that you'll trust your gut. You're going to kind of like you're going to feel a transformation, or don't do things that don't serve you anymore. And that was her biggest thing. She was like, I never realized how much it impacted physically. Like,
Yeah.
you can feel it through your body.
Your mind and your body are so connected. And,
Yeah.
and your body signals mostly come from your brain and your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's like, why I love the conversations with founders, and because we all have these similar, experiences and transformations and
Mhm.
advice and stressors and reliefs, and but our journeys have all been different, and our words are all different, through where we've been and where we're going. But this was fantastic. Before we go, where can people connect with you, learn more about Cyberwild, or learn more about you, Jeff, listen to your songs and your, around cybersecurity?
Sure. Well, let's see. The songs might be a little challenging because I don't remember where I stuck them, but uh, I know that. I mean, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, there's somewhere buried in there with some of my other material. Um, it just doesn't flash and say this is a song, but anyway, uh, so my website is www.cyberwild. That's cyberwild.com.
.com.
Dot
Yeah,
com. We still use a .com. Yeah,
that's right.
I insisted on that.
Yeah,
Um,
same with
that,
me. I don't
so
know.
that's the website. You can find some information there, and it has for anyone that wants to book a call with me to talk about their security strategy. There's a link there on the website. You can
Perfect.
click on it and fill it in. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. Um, the company has a site, but I also have my personal site, which it's not Jeff Lyon. It is cyber-jeff. So
Ah, there's Cyber
LinkedIn.com.
Jeff.
Yeah, Cyber Jeff.
Cyber Jeff.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we'll tag all that
Yeah.
when
Maybe
we run the. Oh, go
I
ahead.
think I'll put Hacker Smacker before it gets taken, right?
You need to do that. You need to get
Yeah.
that. Even if
Yeah.
you don't use it like all the time, it's still kind of fun because you
Yeah.
do, it shows that, look, we all have different personalities, and it's all you're doing is being able to connect with people, like you said, in a very noisy and stale field.
Yeah.
So stand out, man. Stand
I mean,
out. The
I get
hacker
on a
smacker.
webinar sometimes, and it's just technology people discussing roundtable stuff, and you can't hold my attention, guys. You got to let's be
I
funny,
know.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh, believe me, I would be in the agency like I'm after the creatives would come up and dazzle them with all like the ad campaigns and stuff. I would have to come in and talk. Well, here's the media plan. It's a bunch of spreadsheets, and let me tell you where it's going to run, and all the acronyms and the googly gun. This is how the money's going to be spent. And they were always, and then always the last question would be, so is it going to work? That, and then I'd have to go through a whole spiel of the rationale of why we felt it was going to work. But yeah, uh, 30 years of people being bored in my presentations of the numbers.
I might go back to my presentation last year and redo it with the same slides and just
Just the hacker smacker.
take the Woody Allen approach to it. Just put different words in.
There
I don't
you
know.
go.
You're probably not old enough to remember this one, but Woody Allen did a film back in the '60s called "What's Up, Tiger Lily."
I've heard about it, but I have
Okay.
not seen it.
Yes,
I'm
he
only,
took
yeah.
this Japanese film, chopped it up in little pieces, and made his own story out of it. Nothing to do with the movie. But there were some lines in that movie that I still remember today. And when I was in college, I wasn't in college in the '60s. I'm not that old, but we still watched it a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, I think I think next to Caddyshack, it was probably the most watched movie we did when we were in college. So
Wow. That's a throwback. I'm gonna have to like look into that. I'm a
yes.
big, huge, film. I'm a pop culture media junkie, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to look into that one. Um, Jeff, thanks for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. And I
Been a
loved your
pleasure.
journey and hearing about the transformation
Been fun.
and where you're going. We're going to celebrate you next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. Put it on the calendar. And for everybody listening and watching us, thank you for hanging out with us. And we appreciate your support. The podcast will be available on all podcast platforms. So subscribe to Hello Chaos. Give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. Share this great content and help us build a more connected entrepreneurial community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by Orange Whip. That is Orange Whip, WIP for work in progress. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, send us an email to hello@orangewhip.com. Thank y'all for tuning in to Hello Chaos. It is where aha meets oh shit.